Hello and welcome to another edition of Have You Seen Me? Here on JLJ Media, we're talking about things that aren't passed down by generation, it seems, of people in the movies or actual movies themselves. And in this case, this person's kind of both. It's movie music plus the person behind it who's been in movies. Anyway, so I'm Lott Jr., your host, and this is a person that I feel like has not been passed down. She's Afro Latina. It's Black History Month, so I'm glad to bring her up. But she's Afro Latina. She was blazing trails and was hot, 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 hot stuff. And then no one talks about her anymore. Irene Cara, Miss Irene Cara, hello. And if she's watching the show, I want you on. I want you to come on. I want to talk to you about your career. I love you. I'm a big fan of yours. This is the music of Irene Cara, but the music of Irene Cara in the '80s is tied to actually also her being an actress. So she has an Oscar and a Grammy, of course, for What a Feeling, Flashdance, the theme. But she started out as an actress singer in the black cult classic Sparkle in 1976. She plays Sparkle. The thing has been remade years later, but the original stands test of time. And in black households, that is one of our movies. You know that. And she was in that, of course. But then in the '80s, she did the movie Fame. Remember My Name, folks, and Out Here on My Own. I Sing the Body Electric. All these songs, iconic movie about the art school in New York, art school in New York, and completely transformed her. Now, the funny thing is, it won an Oscar and stuff for the song that she sang, but she didn't co-write that. People think she wrote it. She didn't write that. So that one still, because she brought it to life, is a huge hit. Now, that song everybody knows. What about that? Flashdance, which she did co-write and she won an Oscar and Grammys for, she co-wrote, performed it. Everyone remembers that. So those two songs were passed down. Those two songs are not underrated. They have their place in history. Out Here on My Own actually is my favorite out of the three. To tell you the truth, and that was nominated for an Oscar too. But that's all. They were all hits that people know those. And Flashdance, everybody knows Flashdance. But she did a lot of other movies and soundtracks tracks during the '80s, and she did stuff in the '90s too. But we're talking about the '80s right now. That she did that were some minor hits for her that no one even talks about either. For example, DC Cab, which Mr. T was in 1983. It was a mismatched movie, though. It was kind of fun. It was fun. Very '80s, very fun movie. I think I'm going to watch it again because I haven't seen it in a while. But she does The Dream, Hold On to Your Dreams. That was a minor hit for her. Great song and everything. And so that was in that. In 1984, she was in City Heat with Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds. So '80s, right? Love it. She did two songs, Embraceable You and Get Happy, of course, was a remakes. In 1985, she does the theme song to Certain Fury, which co-starred her and Tatum O'Neal. I think I remember seeing that. But then really what's funny is in Busted Up, this movie in 1986, she did 4 songs for that movie, including She Works Hard for the Money. That part I had no idea. And then the end of the '80s, she did the love song with Freddie Jackson, who was big at the time too, called "Love Survives" for the 1989 movie "All Dogs Go to Heaven." Remember that movie? I mean, so she was acting and also doing songs and doing some songwriting, all mixed together. She put out an album too. At least put out one album for sure. I know of the song "Why" was a song I liked a lot. In the '80s, also it had a couple of minor hits off of that too, and has a remake of a song that I love called "Thunder in My Heart" that was originally done by Leo Sayer. But I just feel like she did some stuff in the '90s, and she has some albums that have come out in the 2000s and 2010s. And she had a dance hit in 1996 that I remember that I had the CD single for, All of My Heart in a Song, and I have that out there. Our community likes our divas, but she's just not mentioned like the rest of them of that time period. Like she's not. They mention people. Irene Cara just doesn't get mentioned as much. I just think that that's why I do the show. I'm mentioning her. I want you to remember her name. I had to, couldn't help it. But she and others were paving the way for other people. She was before Afro Latino. She was before Lisa and Cold Jam. She was before a lot of those artists that came out later in the '80s. She was doing it first. And she should have her place in the lexicon of our entertainment business So, but she was doing that, and I want to give it to her. I'd play one of her songs, but I don't want anything. I don't want anything happening. I don't own the rights to them. Somebody say play one of her songs. Like I can't. Like can't do that. But go check out her catalog. Go to Spotify. She's on Spotify. She's on Apple. Check out her catalog. Play her songs. Check out the movies that she's in. If you can't find them, I'm sure it's somewhere. I'm sure some of the movies are somewhere, of course. But like I said again, Flashdance and Fame, we know those. But she got some of the other stuff. She got some other soundtracks of her work. She had a beautiful voice. She also did a song in the 90s with a group, oh my God, from England. I'm thinking of the name of it. And it's just a song called Forever My Love. That's so good. I think it's the Disco Brothers. I think it's what they called. But Forever My love that song. Thanks, Irene Cara, for all you've done. Hopefully you're doing well. I would like to say I'd love to have you on the show and talk to you further about your career. I'm James Lott Jr. Have You Heard Me? It's on all, now at this point, I just got it approved, it's on every streaming service. It is on audio. And the video's on my network, JLJ Media, here on YouTube at JLJ Media. We'll see you next time.